Picture this. The year is 1383. Portugal is in turmoil, and a crisis of succession looms large. The death of Ferdinand I has left a power vacuum. The throne of Portugal is empty, and the stability of the kingdom hangs in the balance. Ferdinand's death has been a catalyst for political instability. His only legitimate child, Beatrice, is married to King John I of Castile, and many fear that this union could lead to the annexation of Portugal by its powerful neighbor, Castile. The situation is further complicated by the actions of the widowed queen, Leonor Teles. She's taken a new husband, Count Andero, in a hasty and unpopular marriage. This controversial union has stoked the embers of discontent into a roaring fire. Enter John, the Master of Aviz. A natural son of King Peter I, he doesn't have a direct claim to the throne, but he carries the weight of popular support. He stands against the union of Portugal and Castile, and he's not alone. He leads an uprising against Queen Leonor and Count Andero, a rebellion sparked by the desire to preserve Portuguese independence. Meanwhile, to the east, Castile watches the unfolding chaos with keen interest. King John I of Castile, husband to Princess Beatrice, sees an opportunity to extend his dominion. He seeks to claim the Portuguese throne through his wife's right, but Portugal is not willing to submit without a fight. The tensions between Portugal and Castile are escalating, and it's clear that a confrontation is inevitable. The stage is set for a monumental clash, a battle that will determine the fate of two kingdoms. The actors are in place. John, the Master of Aviz, standing for Portuguese independence, and King John I of Castile, seeking to expand his rule. The stakes are higher than ever, with the future of Portugal hanging in the balance. So with the stage set, the actors in place, and the stakes higher than ever, Portugal and Castile are poised for a clash that would echo through the annals of history. On August 14, 1385, beneath the scorching summer sun, the Battle of Aljubarrota commences. The battlefield is a spectacle of clashing forces. On one side, the Portuguese army, a force of roughly 6,000 men. Their ranks are filled with foot soldiers, archers, and a small but formidable cavalry. On the other side, the Castilian forces, a formidable force of over 30,000, bristling with knights and infantrymen. The Portuguese forces, though outnumbered, have the advantage of strategic positioning. Their commander, the tactical genius Nuno Alvares Pereira, has chosen the battleground carefully. The Portuguese forces are stationed on a ridge, their flanks protected by natural obstacles, a craggy hillside to one side, a dense forest to the other. As the battle commences, the Castilian cavalry charges with the force of a thunderstorm. Knights in shining armor, atop their powerful steeds, bear down on the Portuguese line with the confidence of a force 3 times larger. But the Portuguese hold their ground. Their spears form a bristling wall, a hedge against the Castilian onslaught. Then, with a roar that echoes across the battlefield, the Portuguese counter. Their small cavalry, a mere speck against the massed Castilian forces, charges. It's a bold move, a daring gambit by Pereira, but it pays off. The Castilian line wavers, breaks. The Portuguese cavalry cuts through their ranks like a knife through butter. Meanwhile, the Portuguese archers rain death from above. Their arrows, like a swarm of deadly locusts, descend upon the Castilian forces, sowing chaos and confusion. The Castilian charge falters, stalls, the tide of the battle turns. All the while, Pereira, cool and composed amidst the chaos, directs his forces with the precision of a maestro. His every command, every maneuver seems to anticipate the Castilians' next move. It's a masterclass in tactical warfare. The first wave of the battle ends, leaving the fields stained with the blood of the fallen, but the fight is far from over. As the dust settles from the initial charge, the battle roars back to life with renewed ferocity. The second wave of the battle is upon us, and it's a sight to behold. The Castilian infantry, once the pride of the Iberian Peninsula, steps forward, their armor gleaming in the midday sun. Their role is crucial, their resolve unwavering. They advance, a sea of steel and determination, but they're met with an equally resolute force. The Portuguese, their spirits unbroken despite the first wave's onslaught, dig deep into their reserves of courage. They hold their ground, their resistance a testament to their indomitable spirit. This is a battle of tactics as much as it is of brute force. The Castilians, relying on their superior numbers, attempt to overwhelm the Portuguese. They employ the tactic of sheer force, their infantry pressing forward in an unyielding wave. But the Portuguese are not to be outdone. They used their knowledge of the land to their advantage, manipulating the terrain to disrupt the Castilian formations. It's a game of chess played out on a grand scale, each side countering the other's moves, a deadly dance where the stakes are nothing less than the fate of kingdoms. The air is thick with the sounds of clashing steel, the cries of men, and the unyielding will to survive. And then, a turning point, a moment that will echo through the annals of history. The Castilian forces, once so sure of victory, start to waver. Whether it's the relentless Portuguese resistance, the toll of battle, or perhaps a moment of doubt, the result is the same. The once unyielding wave begins to falter, the cracks in their resolve starting to show. It's a pivotal moment, a shift in the tide of battle. The Portuguese sense it, their spirits lifting. They press on, their resolve renewed, their determination unyielding. The Castilian forces, once the harbingers of doom, now appear vulnerable, their confidence shaken. The tide of battle turns, and the once confident Castilian forces find themselves on the brink of defeat. The Battle of Aljubarrota is far from over, but this moment, this turning of the tide, might just be the beginning of the end. With the setting sun casting long shadows over the battlefield, the Battle of Aljubarrota reaches its bloody conclusion. In the fading light, the once mighty Castilian forces were in disarray, their ranks fractured and their morale shattered. The Portuguese, though outnumbered, had turned the tide in their favor. King João I and his general Nuno Alvares Pereira had led their men to a victory that would echo through the ages. The Castilian retreat was a chaotic scramble, a stark contrast to the disciplined Portuguese forces. The battlefield, once a site of chaotic combat, now lay eerily quiet, the silence punctuated only by the groans of the dying and the victorious cheers of the Portuguese. The aftermath of the Battle of Aljubarrota was a sight to behold. The ground, once green and fertile, was now a grisly tableau of death and destruction. Thousands of men lay dead or dying, their bodies testament to the ferocity of the battle. The death toll was staggering. Estimates suggest that as many as 7,000 Castilians perished, compared to just 1,000 Portuguese. The impact on the Portuguese and Castilian forces was profound. For the Portuguese, the victory was a defining moment in their struggle for independence. It bolstered their morale, strengthened their resolve, and solidified their national identity. For the Castilians, the defeat was a bitter pill to swallow. Their dreams of subjugating Portugal were dashed, their forces decimated, and their pride severely wounded. The Battle of Aljubarrota was more than just a military confrontation. It was a clash of wills, a test of courage, and a demonstration of tactical brilliance. It showcased the indomitable spirit of the Portuguese people and their unyielding determination to defend their homeland. The victory at Aljubarrota was a turning point in the history of Portugal. It marked a decisive shift in the balance of power on the Iberian Peninsula, setting the stage for Portugal to become a major player in the age of exploration. And so, against all odds, Portugal stood victorious, a testament to the strength of its people and the cunning of its leaders. In the grand tapestry of history, the Battle of Aljubarrota holds a place of prominence. This decisive battle, fought on August 14th in the year of our Lord 1385, was more than a mere clash of arms. It was a defining moment that secured the independence of Portugal and set the course for the nation's future. The Battle of Aljubarrota was a triumph that not only halted the Castilian threat, but also paved the way for the ascendancy of John I to the Portuguese throne. His rule marked the beginning of the Aviz dynasty, a line of rulers who would guide Portugal through an era of unprecedented expansion and prosperity. John I, grateful for his victory, commissioned the construction of the monastery of Batalha, a grand monument to the triumph at Aljubarrota. This majestic edifice stands as a testament to the courage and determination of the Portuguese people, a constant reminder of their hard-fought independence. The monastery, with its intricate masonry and towering spires, is not just an architectural marvel, but also a symbol of a nation's resilience. It serves as a beacon of hope, whispering tales of valor to those who walk its hallowed halls. The echoes of Aljubarrota resonate within its stone walls, a melody of triumph playing in an eternal loop. In the larger context, the Battle of Aljubarrota was a turning point that shaped not just Portugal, but also the trajectory of European history. The victory prevented Castile from absorbing Portugal, preserving the unique cultural and political identity of the Portuguese people. This ripple effect transformed the landscape of power dynamics in the region, leaving a profound impact on the world stage. Indeed, the legacy of Aljubarrota goes beyond the borders of Portugal. It is a story of a nation's struggle for sovereignty, a narrative that continues to inspire and remind us of the enduring spirit of humanity. The Battle of Aljubarrota, a pivotal moment in history, not only shaped the future of Portugal but also left an indelible mark on the world stage.